Welcome everybody for the final time here this season to the Vision Gaming Twitch channel. My name is Hodge, and joining me for this final stream today for his debut cast of the season, it is Sir Pegasus. Sir Pegasus, we've reached the end of quite a short road to be completed. Time has flown by in these 7 weeks of the Ibex League, and I think now we find ourselves with one of the more entertaining matchups. mYinsanity, VisionGaming. I mean, sparks always fly when these teams collide.
Absolutely. It's two names that are very familiar in the Swiss scene. I'm very much aware of them. Of course, I have actually done some Swiss League commentary, even alongside the likes of yourself in previous seasons, but I'm sure that we'll get onto that a little bit later. VisionGaming, there's no questions about them here in the Ibex Gaming League and the talent that this roster does having amongst their ranks, but I mean, similar can be said about mYinsanity, not to say that it's particularly come together in this specific season, but that just hypes us up for a really nice way to end the regular portion of the season before that playoffs. A nice one to round it off, and still with actually something to play for here for Vision Gaming.
Oh no, absolutely. It's going to be a fun and entertaining match, and well, I mean, mYinsanity, they've been sort of slumping in the recent weeks, but it doesn't mean that they can't perform, you know, in these sort of moments, right? I mean, teams can have bad days and like bounce back just like that. So you can't underestimate this mYinsanity team, and you know, when you look at some of the players on that team, I mean, like Kiva, a player who's been around in the Swiss scene for ages. mYlox, who's been around in the Swiss scene for ages, and although Kiva might not be playing today, we do have, you know, players like Mark, players like Narwok alongside him, who certainly are going to look to bring the heat today. And I mean, I can't wait to see it all unfold. But speaking of mYlox, I feel like we should actually take a bit of a journey back, like you mentioned there, to the last time that we casted in the Swiss scene together, because back in the Awaken League Grand Finals, we saw Cloud Esports take on mYinsanity. And speaking of mYlox, one of the greatest shots that I've ever seen. Accidental team play, call it what you want, but I think we should take a look at what happened the last time that we got to cast some Swiss scene.
And the time has doubled for mYinsanity to try and make that comeback. Infield pass is there. Oh! What a range of his mYlox with the best team goal of the tournament!
That may well just be the best goal I have ever seen while casting a series of Rocket League.
Well, what more can be said about that shot that wasn't screamed in that moment in that previous commentary? It's one of those goals that makes you forget, I think, when you're in the booth that, you know, you've got a job to do out there. I was just a Rocket League fan for that moment, witnessing one of the best shots to this day I've ever seen. Again, was it intentional? Did he mean to do that? I mean, he's a very intelligent player, so he at least knows what areas he should be in, how he should angle his car. Just in the off chance that the ball came into his direction. Sure, it's a 1 in a million, but he certainly hit the jackpot on that play. And I've got a better microphone now in case that happens again. So hopefully, if mYlox is able to pull up another blinder, your ears won't get absolutely melted as a result of it.
I mean, I don't have a better microphone since then, but my microphone withstood the craziest own goal, the craziest whiff of a goal I've ever seen the other day, so I think we'll still be fine. Just about. We'll hopefully be fine, but we'll get to that later. Obviously, I mean, that just shows you the sheer force that their team like mYinsanity can bring on their day, and while they have a new roster, it's still, you can't forget about you know, the height that they can reach. But now we've got to move forward to the present day. Now we've got to move forward to the Ibex League and take a look at what's happened across the past 7 weeks or so. Let's bring up the league table and just see where things stand to now. And well, I think, you know, there's two very different storylines coming into this match, right?
Absolutely. There's a team sitting at that top spot. It's Vision Gaming with a 5-1 win record and a plus 11. I believe that is in game differential as well. So not only have they been winning essentially every single series they've had the opportunity to play, it's also been in rather dominant fashion. That's what's put them ahead of Cloud Esports, and this is going to be an important match to try and establish themselves in that spot, because their opponents today are going to be mYinsanity. That team sitting in 7th with their only victory against the 8th place Swiss Ghost roster. So this is, if anything, the perfect matchup for Vision Gaming on paper, but Hodge, this wonderful game of Rocket League is not decided on paper.
It's not. It's decided on the field. And let's have a look at the players and the teams that are going to be taking to the field here today and bring up our team stats between both of these teams. I mean, I always like this screen, Pegasus, because you get to see what some teams are strong at, what some teams maybe need to work on, but you know, what some teams can exploit against their opponents.
And what I find really fascinating here is how good the mYinsanity stats are until you look at goals allowed per game. It is the 6th in the league with a 2.42 record, and they're within 4th or higher for every other stat listed there. So it just shows you that this is a team that should be strong on paper, but they just have such a leaky defense. And when you compare that to the other side here, VisionGaming, that are first in that specific stat with a 1.39 goals allowed per game, you can see which team is the more solid roster, though the saves are also rather familiar there between those two teams. So that just suggests that one team ends up in a lot more pressure, and the other team creates all the pressure and makes sure they're in that opponent's third. So VisionGaming, we might have a few sights of them in defense, but it feels like it's not going to be nearly as much here as mYinsanity.
Definitely, but I mean, you know, we talked about the teams, we've talked about the weaknesses that might present themselves for some of these teams, well, some of these, for these teams, but now, as I was saying, it's time to look at some of these players and see who's been really standing out and making a difference for their team. And I mean, there's a lot of different metrics on your screen right now, Pigus. It's quite easy, excuse me, to get a little bit overwhelmed here. But that one sort of stat that's easily crossing my mind right now is that that goals per game on the side of Nash, 1.26. And then also when you look towards those saves, I mean, there's a couple of different players that you can look at for that. Narwhal, Melox. I mean, these teams typically aren't too, you know, defensive when you come to looking at the overall sort of, I guess, stats and how they're ranked across the league. But I feel like this is going to be quite an aggressive, quite a high sort of octane shots left, right, and centre sort of match.
Absolutely. You have your proven stars here with the form of Nash, who has got extremely high stats all around. You can see those placements right underneath showing him how he's very close to the top dog in essentially every single benchmark, except for saves per game. But this is a player that doesn't care for saves per game. He's scoring goals, he's getting assists, he's in the upper half of the pitch. Why should he care if anyone else gets to his 6-yard box? Because they're not going to. And funnily enough here, Hodge, the one player that's really interesting me is Mark, with no stats available, coming in here as the substitute, replacing the main facilitator for this mYinsanity roster. He has got so much weight on his shoulders in this final matchup to try and ruin the party here for VisionGaming at the top of the table.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of different storylines here. Like you say, you've got Mark, you've got the whole of VisionGaming trying to see if they can get first overall. It's really a redemption story versus the story of dominance, is what has been a season for them. But, you know, I think it's time to sort of jump into a little bit of a conversation that we've had with a couple of these players, because we sat down before this game, before this series, with two of the players on this pitch, Narwhal and Mackie, to see what their thoughts were going to be on this matchup.
This is your first season in competitive Swiss Rocket League. Is the level of the community as expected?
Ich bin da ohne eine große Einschätzung reingegangen eigentlich. Ich kenne auch die Community einfach nicht so gut. Von dem her ist es auch schwierig, da eine genaue Prediction zu machen, wo ich da dann stehe innerhalb der Skill Range, sage ich jetzt mal. Ich kannte einfach Melox von dem Uni Rocketeers Turnier. Das haben wir vor 2 Jahren, glaube ich, zusammen gespielt. Ich wusste, dass er ein starker Spieler ist. Und mir war jetzt natürlich auch bewusst, dass das jetzt nicht einfach ein Sonntagsspaziergang wird, sondern dass da sicher auch genug andere starke Spieler dabei sind. Von dem her, ja, ist ähnlich, wie ich jetzt erwartet habe.
You recently beat the player chosen greatest title contender in the IGL in Cloud Esports. Are you concerned about the potential rematch in the playoffs, or have you unlocked the recipe against Cloud?
Ja, also natürlich trotzdem ein schwieriges Matchup, wie wir auch dachten. Zum Glück hatten wir diesmal die Nase vorn. Und ich würde sagen, wir wiederholen genau das gleiche in den Playoffs.
The season with mYinsanity probably didn't go as expected. What was your mindset coming into the season?
Genau, also unser Ziel war es natürlich, die Playoffs zu erreichen. Vor allem, wenn man sich anschaut, was für ein Kaliber meine Teammates haben. Also Kiva und Melox, die waren ja auch in der Vergangenheit in der Schweizer Szene sehr erfolgreich unterwegs. Genau. Ich persönlich wusste aber auch, dass, weil ich sehr unerfahren bin in Threes, dass es schwierig wird, vor allem am Anfang. Vor allem, weil wir auch nicht so viel Zeit hatten, uns vorzubereiten mit Scrims vor dem ersten Match. Ich habe aber das Gefühl, dass wir uns gesteigert haben und bin darum da auch positiv gestimmt, dass wir die Season auf einem auf einen guten Schluss bringen können, auch wenn das mit den Playoffs natürlich jetzt nichts mehr wird. Genau.
Today's opponent, mYinsanity, has already been eliminated from playoff contention. Did you see that coming at the start of the season?
Also ich muss sagen, am Anfang der Season dachte ich eher, dass mYinsanity weiter vorne mitspielt. Aber dann auch nach den ersten Matchups, auch gegen Scythe of Seraph, auch gemerkt, dass es ein sehr starkes Team ist. Weswegen ich dann doch eher gegen Ende des Seasons auch erwartet habe, dass mYinsanity, oder dass es jedenfalls knapp werden kann mit den Playoffs.
You lead your team in almost every statistical category. What is the reason behind this? Are you the next big thing?
Ich finde, da sagen die Statistiken nicht viel aus. Ich selber auf dem Feld merke, dass ich noch einige Fehler mache. Ich merke aber auch, dass Kiva und Milox mit ihrer Erfahrung und einfach auch mit ihrem individuellen Skill, sei es das Positioning, sei es die Mechanics, sei es den Read auf das Game, die können da noch einiges wieder gerade biegen, wenn ich einen Fehler mache. Und ich kann einfach auch unglaublich viel von denen lernen, wenn wir uns zusammen die Replays anschauen. Und ich finde es auch einfach cool, dass so zwei doch große Spieler in der Schweizer Szene so ein Nobody wie mich mal da mitnehmen.
VisionGaming has the best defense in the entire league. What is the secret to your impenetrable defense?
Aber was soll ich sagen? Ich und Zelt haben beide einen TikTok-Account mit Rocket League und dort sind 2 Saves-Videos von uns beiden viral gegangen. Musste wohl daran liegen, kann nichts anderes erklären. Und ja, Anaisch gibt's auch noch.
What is your prediction for the upcoming match?
VisionGaming ist sicher ein starkes Team, sieht man auch in den Standings. Die sind da einiges besser als wir unterwegs. Ich glaube aber trotzdem, dass wir eine Chance haben, das Ding zu gewinnen. Ich sage jetzt einfach mal ein 3-2, aber ich weiß sicher auch, dass wir die Chance haben, das Ding zu vermasseln.
Previously on Mockys Pre-Game Interview.
Also ich kann mich noch erinnern, letztes Switzerland war das actually ein ziemlich hartes Matchup gegen Umme. Also die Gegner sind echt nicht zu unterschätzen und ich finde auch... Irgendwie war da nix. Ich denke, es wird ein 3-1 für uns.
Final words for your opponents.
Möge das bessere Team gewinnen. Good luck, have fun.
So wie Nabok gesagt hat, möge das bessere Team gewinnen. Good luck, have fun. Vielleicht etwas mehr Fun. Man muss das letzte Game auch genießen.
Well, isn't it just great, Pegasus, to see what some of our players have to say in this league? Before a match, sometimes you get some sort of spicy interviews with some of the players.
Mm-hmm.
They throw a little bit of shade at each other. Sometimes they're just quite happy to give their thoughts and their confidence about their own team. And I mean, across both of these teams, confidence you've got to have confidence, right? It's a rivalry. It's a match where both of these orgs have clashed so many times in the Swiss scene. And I think VisionGaming obviously going to be the more confident side, but mYinsanity, don't underestimate them. They've got nothing to lose. I mean, they can play pretty much how they want, and when a team's got nothing to lose, that makes them even more scary, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you, okay? They're going to have one last opportunity to show themselves off on stream. VisionGaming know that they've got a playoffs that they are guaranteed to go to, and I did get information that due to tiebreaker, if they win this series, they are guaranteed that top spot over Cloud Esports. So this is still going to be a clash of the Titans. I'm very excited for it, Hodge, and I cannot wait for us to get into those lobbies.
Well, we've got one more thing to mention before we get into this game, and that is that today's stream is powered by Dash Studio. Dash Studio, you'll see what they have to offer in a second, but massive shout out to Newton and his company Dash Studio for creating the masterpiece that you are about to see. But it's about time to get things going, Pegasus. So we've waited long enough. It's time to write another chapter in the history of the Swiss scene.
For years, mYinsanity has been the pinnacle of Swiss Rocket League. But as in all of history, eras come and go. and a new challenger looks to claim the throne. And now, it's time to close the book on one of Swiss Rocket League's most storied rivalries. The last stage of the IGL sees mLux with newcomers Narwhal and Mark looking to spoil Vision Gaming's placement. While Vision's Maki, Naish, and Selt look to deliver one final death blow to put this rivalry to rest once and for all. A new era of Swiss Rocket League is on the horizon. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the final showdown, and this is Rocket League!
The next chapter of this prestigious Swiss rivalry is about to unfold. We'll be starting today's journey with Game 1 on Manfield Night. And here are our starting lineups, brought to you by Dash Studio.
mYinsanity, Norwalk, 23, Zurich, Switzerland.
mYinsanity, mLux, 27, Zurich, Switzerland.
mYinsanity, Mark, 22, Gelderland, Netherlands.
VisionGaming, Naish, 18, London, English.
VisionGaming, Maki, 18, Bern, Swiss.
VisionGaming, Selt, 21, Lower Saxony, Germany.
A potential 5 games, mYinsanity versus Vision Gaming. It's time to settle that score here in the Ibex League. So let's get down onto the pitch. My name is Hodge, and joining me today is the one, the only, the Sir Pegasus.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we already have kickoff, and the first demo is presented on our screens. It's serious. It's the final bit of action for League play, and already you can see Vision Gaming establishing themselves with a few early strikes versus the mYinsanity defense. A substitute and 2 teammates for Uni Rocketeers look to take down some of the top titans of the Swiss. And Hodge, I'm inclined to believe that this is going to be a close affair, despite what those tables were telling us.
Definitely, like you say, underway here in the matchup, and yeah, I mean, things point to this being quite one-sided with how the season's gone so far. But when, you know, when you've got mYinsanity play with absolutely no pressure at all, you'd expect to see them have a bit of a series. You know, you expect to see them play with a little bit of confidence, you know, especially after the intro that we've just witnessed there. And, well, I mean, I cannot wait to see who's going to get themselves started on the front foot here so far. A little bit of pressure from both sides. This team sort of looked to ease their way in to this best of 5, but game number 1 already underway, and the first goal threatened there with a little bit of a touch from Maki, but Norwalk just taking things over to that sidewall, trying to shepherd that one away as this team of mYinsanity just looked for a little bit of security in the first minute and a half.
And mLux will quickly move that ball forward. Selt's looking awkward, but sees that he's got acres of space in front of him. It's enough time to pick up that corner boost and allow his teammates to regroup, but that time spent is going to be the same for mYinsanity as well. mLux looks to try and sneak this one inside, but it will only find an orange card to come and collect. Individual efforts won't be enough to course their way into the second half. Vision Gaming have been a team that statistically have shown to be front-footed, but mYinsanity, with nothing to lose, are really showing them the brunt end of it.
Yeah, oh, hang on a second. Another shot threatened there. Naish trying to get himself on the end of that one, but it's kept out, and so far still scoreless. I mean, for a side that has been, you know, so clean with how they play this season, Vision Gaming maybe having a little bit more struggles than they would like so far in this game, trying to get past you know, the team of mYinsanity, and mYinsanity, to be honest, they've had a little bit of pressure themselves. We see mYlox trying to cook up again, a little bit of a fake there by Mark. He's just looking to, I guess, buy his teammates some time, and Narwhal is going to take as much time as he wants here, waiting for Celt to approach it, leaves it for Mark. As we get towards our final 2 minutes of game number 1, and still nothing on the board. Could that change anytime soon, though, as a shot ricochets to the back wall, but thankfully, Mackie has it covered.
And pressure has all been the team that is currently sitting 7th place of the table. If the colours were switched, you wouldn't bat an eye, but game 1 is showing that this series has a lot more in store than I think many people initially expected, though it was a leaky defense which has statistically put them behind in a lot of their games. You can see that solid gameplay throughout the rest of their play, so we'll have to see if there's going to be another twist in this story here in the final 90 seconds. Mackie looking for that sidewall read. Narwhal will send it long, but Celt, with 25 boosts still left in the tank and a flip right behind him, still has players behind to try and set out. Mackie will take it low, but Narwhal, who's been the player I've certainly been looking out for this game, again with the solid clearance, but one infield pass there from the magician himself, Naish, will make the difference for Vision Gaming.
Yeah, Naish always stepping up in the assists, always stepping up in the goals, and then Mackie putting it through. Vision Gaming taking the lead here in game number 1. But what can they do to hold on to it as we see that opening shot come through, and what kind of response do mYinsanity have prepared? Narwhal in that midfield just looking for that 50, and to be honest, that's not gone too badly for them. Now they have a little bit of a free shot at it, but mYlox just hammers it towards their opponent, and maybe that one was a little bit wasted.
Back into the corner here for mYinsanity, and it is time for them to try and get those shots on course. They've lost that killer pass, they've lost those killer strikes. It has been possession, but not quite of the quality that Vision Gaming have been able to create for themselves. So mYlox could be the difference maker as he lays that one off to Narwhal. It's a great clearance here by Naish, who keeps himself available here on the backboard, is able to beat his first man, still has a sea of blue behind him, and unfortunately will not be able to muster up the courage to beat those waves. Mark back across, and it is again Vision Gaming with the strike, and mYinsanity desperately looking for escape.
Oh yeah, looking to try and find one more chance. Redirect attempted but not found, and the save is there from Mackie. 10 seconds left, and well, you see the possession in control here for Vision Gaming. mYinsanity, they need a miracle, they need something, but Naish won't give them it, and well, it's looking like it will just be closed out. It will be Vision Gaming who take this first game here in this series.
What a game that was from Vision Gaming. It looked like for a moment there that mYinsanity were going to completely dominate them, but it started to change there once we got into those later minutes, and you could see them pick up a fair bit of steam. Naish himself was so impressive late there. He was getting those defensive clearances. He was getting these sweeping runs as well. It felt like for some time there was a lack of creation from Vision Gaming. But once Naish got himself back into the swing of things, that certainly isn't a statement that could be repeated. So if they can keep that record going for the remainder of this best of 5, this could end up being a sweep. But not to say that, as per usual, mYinsanity haven't shown their strengths.
Yeah, it often does take this mYinsanity team, you know, a couple of games to warm up into things, and quite frequently throughout this league, after watching them, I've seen them, you know, get battered in game number 1 and then come back absolutely swinging in game number 2, and they look like a whole completely different team. So them already being able to get that win on the board, I guess, is looking pretty good. Is looking pretty positive, and I mean, so far, Pegasus, I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing here from both of these teams, because mYinsanity looking pretty good, to be honest with you. Looking pretty solid, looking like they're, you know, going to be, I guess, quite happy to, you know, with how things are going. But at the same time, this Vision Gaming team, they always heat up into a series, and I cannot wait to see them hopefully you know, bring that same sort of level to this game as well. But mYinsanity, we'll have to see what sort of level they're going to bring to game number 2, because, I mean, at the end of the day, a series would be too simple, Pegasus in Rocket League, if it was just was over just like that. I feel like we are sort of destined to get some sort of pushback here.
Absolutely, but it's same old mYinsanity, isn't it? When you look at their stats, they've been impressive all around the games, but for some reason, that winning record just is not in their favor. Double demo coming out here from Celt. You got Maki waiting inside. That shot is going to fly out wide, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on the back of Maki here after that player interview. He said, enjoy the last series of the season you'll play, because of course mYinsanity are guaranteed not to make that playoff stages. And well, if you're going to chattel that, you have to get the goals. You have to have a good final performance to give them. I guess you could say that Viking sending off Selvo, looking for that double himself. Who's going towards that top corner, but mYlox is never beaten that easily.
Never beaten, never put down, that simple. And well, I mean, VisionGaming, they are going to continue this attack, but the defense from mYinsanity has been quite impeccable, to be honest with you. They've dealt with everything pretty well, and now they get a chance to have a little bit of a breakaway. The boost is a little bit low though, so it is going to be those 50s. It is going to be the slow play, I guess, Rocket League that's going to get them upfield, but now instantly the fight is there. VisionGaming trying to bring that to them really early on here, and well, Celt's got that off the side wall. Demo coming through again. Celt, he's pulling all the punches here in game 2. He's just demoing everyone.
And Nash looks like he wanted to join in there with the aerial bump, but that one did not quite land. This hasn't been as strong as a start from mYinsanity as we saw in the previous game, and that is going to be a cause of concern for them, because despite their best efforts, they still were not able to grab a goal. mYlox, though, tries to set up some kind of opportunity, but Nation's backboard defense again is back into fruition. Narwhal wants to take it for a double. That's going to be a tough angle to find. Celt, though, has been granted a completely open net, and that's the cost for going all in for mYinsanity. High risk, high reward. Sometimes you've got to feel the brunt of it.
Yeah, mYinsanity essentially put that to a coin flip, and unfortunately they weren't able to get the right side of it, and well, they will now find themselves trailing here, but gotta find a way to sort of screw their heads back on before they are completely taken off by VisionGaming, who are just looking to grab that sword and slice it where it hurts most. 3 minutes remaining, and already 2 goals up here by VisionGaming.
He isn't looking to just win the league, top the table, win the playoffs. He wants to be referred to as the best individual player this season of IGL has seen. And there's a realistic chance if he continues to score goals like that and commandeer this leading roster of VisionGaming. mYinsanity have really got their work cut out for them, and you've got to be making opportunities out of mistakes like that when they come out in front of you. Otherwise, again, this is going to be a quick series, and it feels like it shouldn't be.
I'll get this one right, because I got it completely wrong yesterday. VisionGaming, they're such a three-headed Hydra team, Pegasus, that when they're all performing, it feels like just getting past one of them is a reward in itself. And I mean, mYinsanity obviously not going to settle for that, but VisionGaming playing so perfectly here. They obviously want that first seed and looking to take it right here. Game number 2 has been put under their spell, and with 2 minutes left on the clock, I mean, we've not really seen too much from mYinsanity, to be honest with you. There's been some pressure, but for most of the game, it seems like they've been locked away in that defense, and that's just dirty from Nash and Maki.
That's a statement goal, and it reads, we are the best team in the IGL. We've seen their individual talents. Here's a taste of their team play. Telekinetic force here in the second game of this best of 5. And mYinsanity, they felt hot on the tails of VisionGaming in the last game, but now they're getting absolutely dusted.
Well, let's see if they're going to be turned to dust, or if maybe mYlox has got something to say about it, as the pressure maybe sees a little bit of pushback for the first time this game. mYinsanity want in on the action, but Celt is not going to let it happen. Poised on the goal line, low boost doesn't matter. VisionGaming hold on, and a counter-attack brews from absolutely nothing. 4-0 in game number 2. VisionGaming are on a warpath.
And how are you supposed to stop them? Zero resources on the side of mYinsanity. They want to get some goals in their favor. They push all 3 men up. You push all 3 men up. You completely open your net as well. And VisionGaming will just continue to score goals. So you play regularly, you still lose. You try to throw the kitchen sink. They'll catch it and throw it right back at you. Sometimes perfection doesn't feel enough when you play VisionGaming and they are in form. We may have not seen the full extent of them in that first game. I feel like we're seeing it now here in the second.
Oh my goodness, don't do it to them. Don't do it to them. Oh, the passing plays connecting. And VisionGaming just have every single member on a string. They're puppets right now in this performance. And I mean, the demo dad, insult to injury. 5-0. I mean, do we even play this last minute?
I want to see them play it. VisionGaming will want to as well. Of course, this is on their very channel that we do commentate this from. So they're looking to put on a show here, and I'm sure that the mYinsanity fans in chat are thoroughly entertained with what they've seen so far. But it is not over yet. We've seen reverse sweeps before. In fact, we know that mYlox can push a game to its full distance. In that little a comeback graphic we had beforehand where we saw mYlox's great goal, that was actually in a game 7 of a grand final. So we know he can keep that fight going. It's going to be required here for him to use this experience to try and lead his teammates back into this game, because as soon as you start to drop the ball here, you start to lose your mental. That's when it goes from bad to worse. The end of this game is finally seen here for both mYinsanity and VisionGaming, and this will be a brief opportunity for that mental reset.
It absolutely will. mYinsanity going to get the chance to maybe talk things over and see what they can do to turn this around, because I think by their standards, they're going to think that is absolutely not acceptable. And, you know, in a match like this, when you've got those sort of players on your team, you know, it isn't acceptable. They've got to find a way to turn this around, because coming into the Ibex League, mYinsanity was one of those favoured teams who, you know, people looked at and thought, oh, you know, they're going to be, you know, quite obviously at the top of those tables making playoffs, but it's not been the case, and things have really maybe shook up a bit more than they would have expected, and they currently find themselves, you know, not quite dead last Pegasus, but not far off. And VisionGaming, who performed above all expectations. A little bit of a shaky start to the league, you know, losing out their week 2 match against SOS in a game 5. And I can't lie, I watched that. I was a little bit worried for them, but I'm so impressed with how this roster of Naish, Celt and Maki, who've been together now for so long, have been able to fight through that resilience and, you know, make their way back to the top of the table where they belong. And now one more game, one more 5 minutes, you know, segment here of Rocket League is all that they need to claim first seed going into that playoff. And well, that's when they can really start to, you know, I guess just turn the heat up even more.
And you said that they're not quite last place on the table. I believe that if they lose this series, there is a chance that will end up being their destiny. Actually, no, I'm incorrect. They beat Swiss Ghost. I thought it was the other way round for a second there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, they do have one win on their record, so they actually do have that head-to-head against Swiss Ghost. So you're right, unfortunately 7th is going to be where they are destined to be. But when you see a legend like the likes of mYlox on the side of mYinsanity, you really just gotta root for him a little here. You don't want it to end like this. For what he has brought the Swiss community, the goals that he's given us as well as casters and spectators at home to watch, you want to see him put up a bit more of a fight in this potentially final game. And I hope that is the case. And as well, he's teamed with the likes of Narwhal, who is just popped into the scene. I believe this is his first season ever hitting SSL. He's teammates with mYlox as well at the university level. So I really want to see him impressive. There's a real chance for mYinsanity to do something special, even if that's just one game, even if it's mYlox going alone. But unfortunately, that one's not quite on target.
I'm quite happy to see them attempting that sort of stuff, because that's a confident play, and, you know, to go for that right now, I know there's no pressure on them whatsoever. They're essentially playing for nothing, playing for pride, but to go for that sort of confident play, it shows that they have some sort of mental resilience. But at the end of the day, when you've got Celt on the ball like that, one, that's not a goal that should be going in, but two, I kind of feel like that might have the opposite effect.
They've collected all the Infinity Stones. They are inevitable, this Vision Gaming side. And, well, when you look at the players on the roster, it's not too tough to see why. You've got Naish, Mackie, and Celt all lined up here. They're extremely strong players in amongst their own right. Naish, of course, being an English superstar, it must be said. He's been competing very highly, getting himself close to those RLCS main event spots as well. And when it comes to a lot more of these national leagues, he loves to throw himself in as that 1/3 option. And it just shows that sometimes these import players can make all the difference. Not to say, though, that Mackie and Celt are slouches whatsoever. The team plays have been extravagant, but mYinsanity now potentially with a chance to break that down.
I mean, Mackie and Celt as a duo have played together for so long now, and this is where you look at them to, I guess, put together the team plays, the passing plays, and really use that sort of synergy that they've been doing all season long here, and close out this final game. They found the first step to that, but now it's going to be their time to close this out. I mean, you're looking towards this team of mYinsanity to see what they can do here, to see what sort of performance they can find in this game 3. Are they going to be able to, I guess, look and find that first goal here? Because that first goal is the crucial part, right? Because if you look for that first goal, you get started, you find that sort of, mental resilience from it, power yourself forward, and then you go from there. But I mean, Narwok's done a great job, found some massive value on no boost to get that to where it is, and now he's looking towards his teammates to finish things off. And although that's centre, there's not a mYinsanity player there to challenge. It feels like a lot of the time this mYinsanity second man is just completely invisible.
And Mark, a little bit of a desperation clear there, but he's made Vision Gaming awkward. They're going for the psycho pass as well. And this is where they get truly creative. Team bumped, however. I'm not sure that one was quite part of the plan. Neither was that backflip from the Vision Gaming player. I don't think they expected themselves to reach the ball regardless, but mYinsanity defender didn't have the finest of touches himself. Hold on a minute, another top right chance shut down by a Vision Gaming defender. First it was Naish, I believe that time it was Mark. Now in Celt's turn in defense, but he's been wiped right out. If you cannot beat him, I'm sorry. I know this is a cliche, but you've got to delete him. mYinsanity have brought themselves into the game.
They have. I'd have to say, what is it with Milox and going for these sort of pre-jump passing plays? It didn't quite work out like it did all those months back, but I love to see the confidence still coming out here. But is it just going to be shattered down to dust? Not quite yet. And like you say, mYinsanity bringing themselves back into the game with that goal. It can go either way, and I'm just happy to see that they're on the board here after all these minutes of play. But hang on a second, these are touches that we can't be missing under the pressure like this and in this sort of game state. However, the bumps are starting to come through from Vision Gaming. They're looking to sort of put together a bit more pressure. And Mark is taking his time on the wall, looking for that 50. Celt not wasting any time whatsoever, although he's going to miss that one. Looking for the edge of a bump, not going to find it. Naish not able to make contact, and now here's where mYinsanity can start putting together this counter-attack.
And there's a glimmer in the nets. It might not be overtime, but it feels like that next goal will be golden. It's platinum for Vision Gaming if they're able to pull it off. Though Mark inside to Narwok, it's an awkward double tap, but still he's found that space inside. The double commit, however, does not reap any fortunes here for mYinsanity, but they'll get their second chance. It's a drop down here from the substitute. Ball hits off that back wall, read there by a Vision Gaming defender. And now is a chance to get this settled in regulation. VG in the attack, a player looming outside the 6 yard. It's Mackie. The shark-infested waters do come through here for Vision Gaming. mYinsanity may be dropped out.
They may just be 7 seconds to find an icy goal before the next chapter of this incredible Swiss org rivalry is sealed, is ripped out. We had a bookmark in this rivalry for the longest time, but now it is a statement. It is a incredible series, a sweep from Vision Gaming as they knock down this mYinsanity roster. And, well, I guess at this point, Pegasus ripped the page out of the book and frame it on their wall.
Absolutely. Vision Gaming have secured themselves at that top spot now. Cloud Esports, I believe they actually have a game versus 8th place Swiss Ghost, so this felt like it was a crucial opportunity for either one of those teams to take that top spot, but it's that head-to-head advantage to make the difference here for VG. So they will be your first seed heading into playoffs, and, well, with the way they performed today, Hodge, I feel like there's no surprise in saying that.
Absolutely, this Vision Gaming team has been incredible throughout the season, and like I say, I was a little bit worried after week 2. To go into 5 games against the Swiss Ghost, the team who's currently sat winless, and then going to 5 games and losing to SOS in week 2. Things weren't looking good for them, but I'm so impressed with how this team's turned things around, especially after their win versus Cloud in yesterday's game. And that is what's going to secure them the top spot after we look at the tiebreakers and go to that head-to-head. But I mean, we can sit here and glaze Vision Gaming as much as we want, Pegasus, but I think the best thing to do is hear from the players themselves. And well, we have one player ready for an interview very, very shortly. So we're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to speak to Maki once again, and I cannot wait to hear what he has to say.
I could be strong survival on my own, but now I'm running out of hope. I need somebody else to save me from myself Should I keep on searching for the one I haven't met? Should I keep on waiting for you, baby? Tell me when. Yeah, baby, tell me when. I've been searching for someone for all my life. I keep on wondering where you hide. Nobody knows. I've been waiting for someone to come around, but I keep on wondering where you hide.
Welcome back, everybody, and well, we have the main man of Vision Gaming alongside us himself, the one who's always joining us for these interviews. Always a pleasure to speak to him. Mackie, I mean, first of all, how you doing after that match? First seed guaranteed here. I know I said it yesterday, but now we officially have, can tell you that it's officially locked in. I mean, first seed, how does it feel?
Yeah, feels great. I mean, I was a bit concerned first game or like the whole day. I mean, maybe we can choke this game. Everything can happen. So yeah, I'm glad now that it's over, I guess.
And well, it is over, and it's in the best fashion I think you can ask for there. Those game 2 and game 3s looked extremely confident from you guys, and I've just got to ask, like, what is the relationship like between you and your teammates? Because on the pitch it looks amazing. We got some of these passing plays coming through. You're pre-jumping every play. You can take it individually. There's an offload option. Is that something that comes from off the pitch or comes from scrims? What is that all about, Mackie? It's too much for me.
Yeah, I think we have a good team environment. Always hyped up. Always have something to laugh about, even if we make the dumbest shit on pitch or miss the open nets. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a good environment.
Amazing. And I loved your interview, by the way, that we got to see in the pre-match to hype up this upcoming game. You said that to mYinsanity that you hope they enjoy their last series of the season, and I'm not sure that you made that easy for them with that performance. But let's look ahead to this playoff stages. You've got that first seed now. You've got to prove it when it comes to that big stage. The LAN has been announced at the Europe Lounge, and I just want to ask, who do you think is going to be meeting you in that grand final? Because of course you're going to put yourself in that grand final spot. Who are those opponents that you're really looking out for?
I mean, the obvious answer is Cloud, I guess. So yeah, I hope to see the Cloud players on LAN, get to play against Flow again on LAN. I think it will be fun.
Let's go. It's going to be a very, very good event for you guys. I'm sure going to be a hopefully amazing playoffs. And I just now want to completely, go off the rails a little bit and ask you a question more directed towards your teammates. I want to ask you, who is the funniest person on the team? Who keeps the vibes up when maybe, for example, at the start of the season, when you guys were having a little bit of a struggle at the start of the season, who was that person, cracking the jokes, making the people laugh, and if it was yourself, that's absolutely fine. But dive a little bit more into the team environment and what goes on in the comms.
Yeah, I think Zelda's not the right one to talk about here. He's more on the quieter side. No, but yeah, it's funny things happens in games. Maybe when Nice Stock is barking again and he has to shout across his whole house to shut him up. Or when yeah, he's getting to he always eats while we play our series. Like yesterday and today, he ate something in between the series. I don't know how. But yeah, you have to ask him these questions, I guess.
I was going to say, we desperately need to know what is the superpower foods that make you guys perform at this sort of level. But I mean, for me, I'm now at a point personally where I've done so many interviews with you that I actually have like 0 questions. So I'm going to hand it over to Pegasus, and if he's got any more questions, then that is absolutely fine. But no, I mean, it's always great to talk to you when you come on here, and always great to see you guys succeed.
Yeah, it's been an amazing season for you guys so far, but again, it's not over yet. You've still got those playoff stages to go for, and I am curious how confident you guys are when it does come to that stage. You said Cloud Esports are easily going to be your closest opponents here once it does get to that point, but actually, how do you fancy yourself against that team? Will it be a close affair, or are you guys putting yourself in a good enough position where you can just easily dominate the rest of the tournament on LAN? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, in the best case, I'd say we go and LAN and sweep them, but it's a LAN. I don't know what happens. It's always different to play on a LAN. We can also get swept, or it's like the most chaotic series and neither of the teams play really good. But yeah, I think we're pretty confident to play on LAN. Had a few LANs in the past, so I guess it should work better this time, or yeah.
Listen, I'm just going to put a look behind the curtain here. We've just gotten a message from our producer saying they shouldn't be able to eat on LAN during series. So, I'm just going to ask you now, Maki, whilst I have the opportunity and before I let you say whatever words you would like and any shout outs out to the stream. Is that a buff or a nerf to the roster that Naish can no longer get distracted by food between games?
I mean, yesterday we had a good series against Cloud, and then he had something to eat, so I guess superpower. Yeah, we have to get him something to eat on LAN. I don't know. Have to ask Fragmented or something.
Keep a brunch bar in his pocket, perhaps. That might be the play for you guys. But thank you so much for joining us here on the stream, and I'm going to give you the opportunity here to shout out whoever you like, or leave any messages here to the VisionGaming Twitch stream.
Yeah, it's a shout out to my teammates and also all the loyal VG viewers always watching the stream, supporting us. I always see the chat messages in the VOD, so yeah, thanks for the support.
All right then. Well, I was going to say, pleasure to have you alongside us here. As always great to speak to you and anyone on Vision Gaming. But I have to say, just congratulations on the league play overall. Good luck in the playoffs, and well, same can be said for the three other teams that have to now face the might of Vision Gaming. But yeah, I think Pegasus overall, it has been a wonderful season here in the Ibex League, and I cannot wait to hopefully be back for some more Swiss competitions very soon. But other than that, that is pretty much it for us today. That is our show, that is our day, and that is our Ibex League streams here for the side of Vision Gaming. Like I say, good luck to all the teams who are going to be making it to those playoffs. But for us, this is the end. So I guess there's nothing more to do than sign things off, and well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, great rest of their week, and great rest of however long until we see you back on this stream. So yes, we'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.
But Nation's backcourt defense again back into fruition. Narwhal wants to take it for a double. That's going to be a tough angle to find. Seltzo has been granted a completely.
Sort of screw their heads back on before they are completely taken off by Vision Gaming, who are just looking to grab that sword and
to score goals like that and commandeer this leading roster of Vision Gaming. mYinsanity have really got their work
left on the clock. I mean, we've not really seen too much from mYinsanity, to be honest with you. There's been some pressure, but most of the game, it seems like they've been walking away, and that deep belt not going to let it happen. Poised on the goal line, low boost doesn't matter. Vision Gaming hold on, and a counter attack brews from absolutely nothing.
I feel like we're seeing it now here in the second.
Oh my goodness, don't do it to them. Don't do it to them. Oh, go for that. Right now, I know there's no pressure on them whatsoever. They're essentially playing for nothing, playing for pride. But it's a go for
red there by a Vision Gaming defender, and now is a chance to get this settled in regulation. VG in the attack, a player looming outside the 6-yard.
Rivalry is sealed, is ripped out. We had a bookmark in this rivalry for the longest time, but now it is a statement